What's up, guys? Welcome to our new podcast series titled Undrafted. This is episode 2. Don't mind the artwork that we have behind Mason and Cameron. We're currently rebranded, but we didn't want to just delete all the videos. So if you go to the Instagram, you can type in the Undrafted Podcast. That'll take you to our Instagram account. The link in the bio has all of our social medias, our Twitch, our Patreon, where we do gaming, and we have exclusive content of behind the scenes of all the way we set up everything and all the lights and stuff on the Patreon. So if you want to support the channel, go over there. And if you're watching us on YouTube, consider going to Spotify and giving us a follow and a like there as well. And we can grow this YouTube channel together. Enjoy the episode.
All right, so you guys know how often movies are based on or inspired by true events.
Yeah.
You know, like Titanic, Pearl Harbor, stuff like those are based on things that actually happened. Then sometimes people that make movies like to take something that happened and just go free with it and, be creative.
Where it says, like, based on a true story.
Yeah. So, in 1962, there was a small town in central Pennsylvania called Centralia. Is anybody familiar with this?
No, I'm not.
So, what happened was one day this farmer, he was just, clearing out his brush, setting it on fire. Unbeknownst to him, he set a coal vein on fire.
It's a coal vein.
It is... Dude, really?
Coal vein?
Coal vein?
Yeah, coal vein.
You think you're giving coal mine?
Are you stupid right now?
Okay, my bad. Go ahead. Keep going.
The coal veins, since Mason asked, it's like the line of coal that goes down into the ground, into the mines.
Yeah, like it's in the rock, and the coal is just like in it, like inside the rock, but it's like a long line of coal inside the rock.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
so
yeah, of course I know.
Sometimes these veins come up to the surface. This guy didn't know, and he set it on fire. So that fire has been burning since 1962, and
it's burning to this day.
To this day.
Wow!
All because of one
guy unknowingly setting shrub and brush on fire to clear out his yard or whatever.
Ignited all that.
Ignited and just destroyed the entire fucking town.
But what problems is it causing?
So
it's causing all kinds of problems, really.
Yeah, really.
Economic problems.
So over the years, it wasn't. The problems didn't start right away.
Yeah.
Just over the course of time.
Yeah, it'll be over the time. Yeah,
over the time.
1962. Yeah,
but in the 80s is when it really started to.
20 years later.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was a little girl swinging on her swing set in the backyard, and all of a sudden,
when did they notice this?
He's about to tell you right now. That's
Matt,
what
if you would just let me finish the story.
Okay, my bad.
Let him finish, Mason. Okay.
So anyway, in the 80s is when things really started to kick off. They knew what was going on, but they didn't really think it'd be that big of a problem.
Right,
they
not big.
It's just going to burn out. It'll be fine. But they were wrong. So in the 80s, the town started literally collapsing. Little girl got caught in a sinkhole in her backyard, almost died. I forgot where I was going with this. It's fucking
Silent Hill.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, the town's evacuated over the years. The state takes it over. It's just this big mess of fire and smoke everywhere. And what I'm trying to get to is that it is the inspiration for the movies and the games Silent Hill.
Wow, I did not know that.
Never seen that movie.
You're full of shit.
I've never seen
the movie.
To be honest,
I played the games.
I was thinking Hills Have Eyes, but those are like deformed people up in the hills and stuff. That's a horror movie.
That's
West Virginia.
And that's and that was based on a nuclear test site.
What, Hills Have Eyes?
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a nuclear testing site where they test nuclear bombs.
We accept everybody.
No, we don't.
Nah.
Do you roll into the intro like that?
No. But so, is the movie basically 100% like that story, or is it like kind of far?
No.
No.
Obviously not.
It's like a horror movie and like horror game series.
So, but there's some truth in the movie about what happened, or is it they just took that smallest idea and was like
back in the 80s and the 90s, the fire was it's actually today it's not that bad anymore. Like it's burning out. It's actually starting to go down. But in the 80s and 90s, like the town was just smoke was everywhere. There was like the holes in the ground would come up, and then like this steam would just fire from the ground, and then I'm getting like fucking thirsty here.
Yeah, crack that open.
Oh yeah. This intro's running a little long, huh?
Yeah.
That's
that's not a Bud Light.
Roll the intro then. And we are back with another episode. If you're listening to us on YouTube, if you're watching us right now, check out our Spotify where we have our all audio podcasts. If you're on Spotify listening to us, check out our YouTube channel where we have a bunch of cameras, lights, and all kinds of cool stuff. We have some burning hot topics today.
So, I mean, we should also mention that starting now, for every episode, we're going to try to have like themes to them besides just random topics here and there. It's going to be like a theme.
There'll still be some randomness to it, but overall, we're going to try to stick to something. So this week's theme, we're going to go into some horror. Because I think there's a new movie coming out, Evil Dead, and I think we're just thinking of just random stuff like that.
Older movie.
Yeah. So that is going to be coming out soon. And
Not a sponsor.
And Cameron's going to start us out with some urban legends.
I'm going to get to urban legends, but I want to piggyback off of what Dale just said about
Silent Hill?
movies being based on true stories and stuff. What do you have you ever seen Nightmare on Elm Street?
Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Everybody's seen it, right?
Yeah, that's real.
Pretty spooky stuff, but it was based on a true story as well. Okay, so in the 70s, there was a lot of refugees coming in from Laos, from Vietnam, and everything. In Laos at the time, there was a lot of genocide happening there. So a lot of people were fleeing the country. And when they came over to the United States, it was reported several different times, several different cities, that a lot of the refugees were refusing to sleep. And they were claiming they were having night terrors. They were having these terrible nightmares.
Like demons.
And they...
Right.
I really don't need the ad-libs.
That was quiet, all right.
So anyway, they were having these nightmares. They were so bad, right? And they were refusing to sleep. And when then they finally went to sleep, they died in their sleep from these night terrors or whatever they were.
Okay, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
That's great.
I thought the dude was actually like a real guy. Like he was like basically, what was the story I heard?
I thought he was like a pedophile.
Something like a pedophile, and they burned
So-
the dude's house down, and he burned alive, and that's how he got all the.
Well,
scars
that's
down.
the movie story of it. So I actually did a little bit of research, and the guy that created it, his name was Wes.
Debunked once again.
I'm sorry. I've done my research on this.
We took screenshots.
Yeah, I had to kind of reference it a little bit.
Was it Wes Craven?
Wes Craven is the one that
Oh,
created.
shit, I was just guessing.
Apparently,
Craven.
when he
Yes,
was little, he was bullied by a kid named Fred Krueger.
Oh my god!
And so, of course, he's going to name the villain in the movie Freddy Krueger.
Krueger.
And the
Wow.
whole costume design idea, he didn't want it to be like Friday the 13th and Halloween where the guy's wearing a mask and he never talks. He wanted his bad guy to taunt his victims. He wanted him to really mess with the victims. So instead of having a mask, he just has this burnt face. And the whole costume, I did the striped sweater and the hat. Also, another story from when he was little is he was walking home one day at night and he saw one of his neighbors. He was an old man and he was wearing that same thing. And the neighbor just turned around and looked at him really creepily, and he said that it scared the hell out of him, and it just stayed in his mind up until he wanted to create the movie. So that's why he
What about the knives?
that I don't know.
I mean, I think that's a little fabricated. Huh?
I think those just took a little creative.
Yeah, it just
It's
that was-
Holly weird.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not done. So yeah, so they were having all of these people dying from part of it's lack of sleep, but when they
probably
finally
what it
do
was.
sleep, they die in their sleep. What do you think was happening there, huh? What do y'all think? Juan, let's start with you. What
Probably get and killed in their sleep.
in their sleep. Okay,
Mason
Well,
went.
so, okay, that's
Is your
Juan.
name? Is your name Juan?
I don't know.
Also, before we go any further, like I said, there was reports from the New York Times and like all these different newspapers throughout the country, and they never linked them together. They were never like, oh, hey, this happened over here in this city too. Like we reported that, or in like in another city, like Los Angeles or something, and they were like, they weren't saying that. Oh, we have some people too that are dying in their sleep. No, they never linked it till like years later.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think what could have possibly happened was obviously exhaustion. You know what I'm talking about?
Or aneurysms.
Yeah,
People
'cause,
die in
like-
their sleep all the time.
Yeah, but like that uncommonly and together from other, other places, like as linked together like that. I mean, I think, I think,
You don't think anything.
man, I think,
Come on, Theo Vaughn, man.
Today, Junior.
I mean,
He tried to come up with some off the wall type of shit.
Man, this is worse than my opening topic.
I say that,
Let's come back to Wandale. What do you think happened with that?
So I'm gonna have to agree with Mason. Like aneurysms.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say, oh, they and killed in their sleep. But I'm gonna have to censor that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, I'm on it. So like aneurysms, seizures, stuff like that.
But so many of them.
People, I've actually known about 2 or 3 people in my life that's passed away from aneurysms.
Wow.
And it normally happens. I mean, it happens in your sleep. Like
Yeah. So you said they came from like Laos and stuff like.
What are you laughing at?
They came from they were Laotian, so they were involved in I'm guessing the Vietnam War in some way. So a lot of the Vietnamese and stuff, they were committing genocide against them.
Yeah. So just basically, they had like a shit life.
Yeah, I think it may have stemmed from PTSD in a way. Like all of that, they were having the night terrors. They probably saw a lot of people dying in their country and getting killed.
Right.
And
I'm sorry. What the is so funny?
Why are you laughing when I said I've known about 2 or 3 people?
Why is that? Why is that the moment to laugh?
I don't know.
You laugh at funerals, don't you? You sick son of a.
So it's the way that you were disregarded so fast.
Damn, I didn't even notice that.
He said, yeah, about 2 or 3 people that came was like, oh,
So sad.
I didn't even
Anyway,
notice that.
So anyway, yeah, I think it had to do something with aneurysms and probably stemming from PTSD from what they saw over in Laos.
that's what I'm thinking.
So
shut up.
they were taken in, to the United States as refugees at the time, and a lot of them died just in their sleep from it. And then also, there's one urban legend that stemmed from that, and whether it's true or not, a lot of sources say it's not true, but
Aliens.
What do they know?
so there was this kid, maybe 10 years old, that saw the movie when it came out, and he got so scared he refused to sleep. Right?
That's normal.
He would like steal coffee from the kitchen and try to stay up all night. And there was one morning, his parents tried to go wake him up. They can't find him in his bedroom, but they open up the closet and he's laying there. He's dead. And it's probably from that. It's probably the aneurysm, probably lack of sleep. But because of that movie, he didn't want to go to sleep after that, and he died.
Damn,
man.
dude,
It's real
fuck.
funny, ain't it?
One's thinking everything about death is funny.
Oh, I mean,
Man, it makes him real giddy. He's so giddy to think about death. Oh man, I wish it were me.
nah, man. I mean, it's just crazy, that stuff happens.
Aneurysms,
Seizures, death.
stuff just happens.
God. Oh, okay.
Man, it's crazy. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Code 3 Podcast.
We're not starting over. So anyway, how many urban legends of Texas do you know, Juan?
I mean, there's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, yeah, there's that, but
Edgin, I think that was his name, right? Or Edgin.
Edgin.
It was Ed.
No, it wasn't Edgar.
Creepypasta.
Not Edgar. It was Ed something.
It was Ed Helms.
Helms?
No, it wasn't. Shut up.
It was Ed Helms. Say it.
Oh,
Ed Helms is no.
The guy from The Office.
Edgin.
It's Ed Gein.
Ed Gein.
Edgin.
Ed
Yeah.
Gein, yeah.
But anyway, no, it has nothing to do with the Texas Chainsaw.
You just asked if we knew any.
Well,
He's talking about the urban legend of Ed Gein.
no, these are urban legends, kind of like, like Bigfoot or whatever.
Oh, in
okay,
Texas?
okay.
No.
Texas.
No.
So these are more paranormal. You know, have you ever heard of like the Screaming Woman or whatever they call it? It's Arlington. I think y'all told me about that.
No, I did.
You did.
What is it?
Well, I can't. I don't know it.
Well,
fully.
so
my
tell us the
dad.
name
My
of
dad
it.
told me something that there was like a bridge over there off of a. I think it's like close to Bedford or Arlington, something in that area. And
I think that's one of the more well-known urban legends in DFW.
yeah.
But there's one that even I didn't know, and it takes place in Terrell, Texas.
Terrell, Texas.
A place where I go to all the time.
That's where Jamie Foxx is from.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is from Terrell.
Jamie Foxx, the actor. Yeah, Terrell, Texas.
Yeah, I knew that.
You
Terrell,
did?
Texas. Yeah.
But have you ever heard of the Candy Lady?
No, I have not. I've
Is
never
that
heard of it.
similar to Candyman?
It is not actually.
Okay.
So this is kind of a longer story. I had to take some screenshots to kind of give myself reference. But this is about Clara Crane, who was accused of poisoning her husband because she blamed him for the death of their daughter. Okay. And so this took place in 1895, right? So,
Terrell's been around that long?
yeah, it was founded in like the
Someone found it
1860s.
in the 60s, yeah.
Yeah, 1860s, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they discovered it just like Christopher Columbus and Cornelius Hubert. But so anyway, so she was accused of murdering him, and she was sent to the North Texas Lunatic Asylum, which still stands to this day under a different name, Terrell State Hospital. Okay. So in 1903, children started going missing near the old property where she used to live. Okay. Children said candy would be left on their window while they were sleeping. Sometimes there would be notes on the wrappers around the candy. After several children started going missing, the townspeople believed it was Clara, the woman that killed her husband with poisoned candy.
I heard about that, and that was in the movie. That was in a movie one time. Yeah,
What movie is that?
What movie?
I don't know what it was called, but it was like a montage of other movies, like scary movies. I think maybe what's the funny movie that they make fun of? Scary movie.
Scary movie?
Yeah, I think it was in
They do
that.
parodies of the movie?
Yeah.
Well, then maybe it was made into a movie of some sort. But so anyway, this is where it gets a little crazy. A nearby farmer had found teeth in his fields, and the town sheriff was killed. He had forks shoved into his eyes
Damn.
and was found with candy in his pockets. Little odd.
So
Why would the
so-
sheriff have candy?
So like somebody's MO, like
What if he had
Why would he have? What if he just liked candy?
Maybe,
low blood sugar?
Yeah.
maybe he loved forks in his eyes. I don't know.
diabetes, maybe.
But no one really knows whatever came of Clara Crane. But to this day, it is believed that Candy Lady still roams around luring little children with candy.
Wait. You said diabetes?
Nah, I didn't say that.
Diabetes.
I think you're supposed to not eat that much sugar.
Nah, I didn't say that.
Well, it's on camera, so we'll see.
Diabetes, maybe.
Don't edit it out either.
This whole
Anyways, that's the
section's
story.
blocked off.
He said that's the story.
That's it. So, what'd you guys think?
Wait, so okay, so you're saying the sheriff that died is connected to this urban myth of the candy lady?
Maybe because he had.
Yeah, candy.
Well, no. I'm not saying that he's the one that was killing the kids.
No.
No, but
she
that-
killed him.
That he's linked to it because he died, had fork in his eyes, but somehow had candy in his
But
body.
let's just see if there was a sheriff.
What if that was a weird twist in it? What if that was the person they tied him to it because he's the one that had the candy in the pocket that matched the other victims,
He's the one that's been leaving candy on the window.
and then someone finally caught on to him.
Finally caught on, like, hey, leave our kids alone, you freaking creep. And then stabbed him in the fork of eyes. Hey, you like watching our kids? Well, guess what? We're going to take your eyes. And then we're going to put candy in your pocket. And they
That's
killed-
it's kind of like what the Ukrainians do with the sunflower seeds.
I'm trying to see if there was a reported that the sheriff was killed in Terrell in 1903.
Man, this audio sounds crisp, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, it is
The audio
awesome.
sounds pretty good, man.
Audio sounds crisp.
So shout out to Juan.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do a sound check, like a proper one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
All right. So you all know that I'm from up north.
You way up north, yeah.
Are you way up there?
You way
I mean, not
up
way
there.
up north.
No.
You know,
Mennonite country.
about
Man.
mid-Atlantic. You know.
I mean, hell, you basically Canadian.
I don't think so. Don't you ever say that to me.
Have you ever even seen a Mennonite?
Anyway,
Have I? I have not.
I was talking to Dale.
yeah, I lived around. I went to church.
They live in my community.
Do they really?
Yeah.
We're getting off topic again.
Yeah. We'll save this for another.
Okay, this is supposed to be scary.
Mennonites are kind of scary. Not gonna lie.
Mennonites, woo.
So anyway, like I was saying,
We accept all Mennonites.
Ooh, Amish.
I'll
ooh.
shut up. Anyway. So up north, I'm from New Jersey. That's where I was born. Specifically South Jersey.
South Jersey.
So when you're a kid in South Jersey growing up there, and you're not your parents want you to listen to what they're saying, they'll scare you with a bedtime story. If you don't behave, the Jersey Devil's gonna get you.
Dang.
And that scares the shit out of you as a kid because you're picturing this biped with hooves
hockey
and
team?
wings. That's what it's based. That's what the hockey team's based off of.
Oh,
Jersey
is it?
Devils? Yes.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I thought maybe the story was based on them.
Yeah.
The Jersey Devils?
Yeah.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, that's their hockey team.
No. So when you're a kid, your uncle, your mom, your dad, whoever, they want to scare the shit out of you, so you'll listen to them, right? They start off with the Jersey Devil. That's the folklore in New Jersey, South Jersey.
So how Cameron brought up Texas myth, this is the Jersey myth.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So anyway,
So I created Jersey Shore.
It's not true. Go
it's
ahead.
not really true.
Continue, Dale. Sorry for the interruption of WONT here.
So anyway, back in 1735, a woman named... Anyway, her name doesn't matter. They called her Mother Leeds. In the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, she was pregnant with her 13th child. She did not want this child. So
Out of 13, this is the one she didn't want.
yeah.
God.
Well, I think it has a lot to do with the number 13, with how unlucky that number is and stuff. So anyway,
Stop having sex.
so she cursed the child. She cursed it.
She cursed the child?
She cursed the child. She did not want this.
So she didn't want the child.
This kid.
She said, "Fuck this kid. I'm done with these little shits. None of them pay attention to me. I'm done."
So she curses the child.
So she curses the
many-
child.
so many bleeping.
Not the guy that impregnated her. It's the kid's fault. At any time you could have had an abortion, but whatever.
You said this was 17 something. I doubt they had abortions.
No,
back
they had
then.
hangers
You never
back
seen
then.
that Family Guy episode where they're just jumping off the top of the stairs?
No. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is that going to get edited out?
Clip that in.
Man, abortion's been around since like ancient Egyptians, bro.
Really?
Yeah, they used to take like a what was that? What was that?
They used to put. Look, sorry,
We're getting off topic.
We are, but they used to put
important.
rocks up in there. I'm not even joking.
Oh my God. To just prevent them from coming out? Was it?
Kinda,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
but at that point, you might as well just have the kid.
Oh my God. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it made you infertile, but at least you wouldn't have a baby then.
I feel like there's anyway. You guys always throw me off track. I have a good flow and I'm done.
No more interruptions.
So anyway, so basically she cursed the child and the child was born looking like a devil. Wings, hooves, claws for hands. And people to this day believe that this kid is still alive, haunting people in southern New Jersey in the Pine Barrens.
There's no way.
I've seen him myself,
Okay, I have a couple of questions.
All right, go ahead.
So, you're saying that she cursed this baby?
Yeah.
While it was still inside of her?
Yeah, when she found out she was pregnant, she cursed the kid.
Why would you do that?
Why wouldn't you do that? It's your 13th child. You're done, man. She had 12 kids.
Why not kill it?
Because that's just wrong.
It's just wrong. Because
wrong,
if she
Mason.
killed it, we wouldn't have the story that we have today of the Jersey Devil.
Man, she already knew Code 3 Podcast was about to talk about it.
Man, these Jersey people are crazy, dude.
Yeah, you're right, man. But it's a good kind of crazy.
Man, it's like a lot. I feel like now Jersey is kind of like Germany. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
They have a lot of stories like that. They have a lot. Like every fairy tale is just really bad like that.
Wow. You really gonna throw shade at my statement?
No. I'm not saying that. I mean, like it's all evil.
Oh,
Yeah,
evil.
that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's where the country started. That's where people first came to. So there's going to be a lot of embellishment, a lot of like the Salem witch trials.
Right.
True.
Which why was that not a topic in this episode? Like,
I don't know. I guess nobody just thought about it. Yeah, man, Jersey's crazy. Especially with like Jersey Shore.
Oh, that's another movie based on a true story, not Jersey Shore. But
They made a movie. Oh my god!
They did actually.
The Crucible. You seen?
Oh yeah, yeah.
We watched
Crucible, yeah.
that in school, but it was based on the Salem witch trials.
Yeah,
It was a very boring movie. Dude.
it was.
Is that the
Because it's not like a theatrical thing where they're making them actual witches and stuff. It was just like based on the actual true events, and it was very boring.
is it the movie where they are in the woods the whole time with a
That's the Salem.
handheld?
No. That is what's the name of that?
Blair Witch?
Blair Witch
Blair
Project.
Witch Project.
Yeah. Which is another
That-
very boring movie.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just like, man, that movie was scary.
Off the hook.
Dude, they never reveal the actual witch. Like it's
True, but there's something about that like snuff film look to it where it's just all the kids are recording it. You know what I mean? I don't know. It always freaked me out.
it scared you because you put yourself in that
Yeah, kind of.
situation. Yeah, okay, all right, I see that.
That's the Jersey.
That's the Jersey Devil, baby.
That's the Jersey
So
Devil.
what's
man.
the point of it? To like, hey, listen to your parents.
Oh yeah. So what does the Jersey Devil do?
It just snatches kids, bro. That's what he does.
Just snatches up
He
kids,
just snatches up kids.
whether they're
kids that
behaved
don't-
or not.
Kids that don't listen to their
it's the
parents.
Jersey Devil, man.
It's the Jersey Devil. He has no morals.
Look,
So they're like, "Oh, you're not going to listen to me? Well, you know that there's a Jersey Devil out there that snatches up kids.
So it's like-
eats them.
it's
So
like-
oh, if I misbehave, nah, it doesn't matter. You're already dead, basically.
it's basically like, you know, his mom didn't want him, so he's just gonna take those kids from their mothers, you know.
Damn. So this guy's just a whole ass super villain, huh?
Hell yeah, Jersey Devil. He's the Jersey Devil,
Should
man.
have killed him. Mom did.
Should have killed him.
Yep. Yep.
Sorry.
So I wanted to bring up a lot of movies that. Okay, so this isn't much of like when I was creating this topic. I thought more about going around and talking about our favorite type of scary movies, like our favorite type of horror movies. I know we've been talking about that at work a little bit. So like, I'll go first. My favorite type of horror movies is like, for example, Conjuring, like those Conjuring.
Like paranormal stuff.
Why did,
and-
wait,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
so
Why
it's
did
like-
you explain all that before going into it?
What do you mean?
I don't know. You're just like, man, when I came up with this talk, I just wanted everybody to kind of go around and talk about their favorite
Yeah.
scary movie.
Because
So I'll go first. I like.
I'll go first because I have the talking stick.
because it's very different than what y'all. Cause y'all are explaining like a whole story of history and stuff like that.
Dang. So where they had to do research on stuff and you didn't have to do anything.
Well, I had research on The Conjuring 2 and that movie and what it was based in and whatnot, but looking more into it, I mean, some people think it was a hoax, and there's like a lot of debunking of that.
Well, that's what I heard. I
That
heard that The
certain one.
Conjuring is like, oh, based on a true story, but
The second one only. The first
That-
one was very real.
That was the one that happened in Connecticut, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so.
And that's part of the series that's like Annabelle and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I like those a lot, mainly because like I'm thinking of more of the movie aspect. I like going to watch movies and I like the whole movie vibe and everything.
Yeah.
And it's something about the Conjuring movies when you're watching in theaters and stuff like that. You got the whole intro of the whole movie.
Yeah, yeah.
They put on these big paragraphs, real pictures, real stuff. And it's before. Usually a lot of movies that are based on true stories and stuff, they'll put all of that at the end. But this one they do it in the beginning. And then they end it with like based on a true story, and then the full title comes up, and it's like very big and very epic and scary and stuff. And I think I am very more interested in those kind of movies versus like a Freddy Krueger or Jason and all of them, because those are just more.
They're very hokey.
They're-
They're like.
Yeah, they're not very realistic.
one movie that's based on a true story is Dale and Tucker versus Evil. You ever
I've seen that.
That's not a scary movie.
seen it? Nah, that's not based on a true story.
bro. Source, me.
Yeah, that movie's funny though.
But like that was what always caught my attention with that versus like a Freddy versus
Like a
Jason.
slasher movie.
Yeah, a slasher movie. I think that's the exact title for it. But like I don't know, what are y'all into? I know you're I always think of your dad, of what Steve's
I think of
into.
his dad,
yeah.
too.
Yeah, because have you ever been to his dad's house? I mean, it is decked out. With
He's into Scream, Halloween, Jason. He has. I mean, he likes it too.
You could barely play pool in that thing. Yeah, so much memorabilia everywhere.
Dining room table? Nah, screw that. There's a pool table in the dining room. But I mean, since I'm sitting here talking, I guess I'll go into my favorite.
Yeah.
I do like paranormal movies as well, but I feel like paranormal movies, they drown out. Like if you watch Paranormal Activity, it kind of drowns out.
Oh yeah, Paranormal Activity is one of those really long.
And I don't like the really far-fetched Paranormal Activity movies. It's just not believable at all that this will happen.
So with Paranormal Activity, like it follows a storyline.
Yeah.
And I think the final movie is where it concludes to where like the whole family line was like.
Isn't there like 6 of them? 6 or 6?
Something like that. I skipped them all and just went to the end. The last movie.
I really just watched the first and second one, which were very big at the time when they came out.
What was it called? It was called Coven, wasn't it?
Huh?
Paranormal Activity, like Coven or something like that. It was like
Paranormal Activity and then Paranormal
Covenant
Activity 2.
Like that.
Wait, what?
Paranormal Activity,
there was
and
more than 2 movies, bro.
But it just followed the numbers, didn't it?
Yeah.
Number 3, number 4.
Yeah, but I mean the last one I think was called like Coven.
I've never watched it.
COVID.
It was a long, COVID, yeah.
Paranormal 10. COVID.
But I like one movie that always like got me like as a kid when I watched it, and it would like creep me out. Jeepers Creepers.
Oh, dude, that movie me up as a kid.
Yeah, it just I had nightmares about it, and it's just creepy. I mean, obviously it's far fetched too.
Well, yeah,
it's a human that flies, and
it should be creepy. It's called Jeepers Creepers. I don't know what else it could be.
The thing is that it always goes back to like, yeah, Paranormal Activity and The Conjuring. There's some stuff that's very far fetched, and it goes on what you believe in and that stuff.
But if you think of scary movies, I like thriller movies.
Yeah,
like you ever seen Joyride?
No.
It has Paul Walker in it. The original one has Paul Walker in it.
It's a scary movie
too. It's a thriller. It's not. It's not
okay.
It's not like a serial killer made believe. Joyride is basically a guy and a brother. They're going down the road and stuff. They're doing a road trip, and they get on a CB radio, and he uses a girl voice.
And he's like candy cane. Yeah.
Candy, and he's using a girl voice, and they're like, "Oh, meet me at this hotel." Blah 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 blah. And then they run into when they're checking into this hotel. They run into somebody who's being an asshole, and he's like, "Okay, well, we'll just send this trucker to this guy's hotel room." And then he goes to the hotel room, finds out that it's not a girl, kills the guy, and then when they're on the road again, you hear the trucker, "Candy cane."
Yeah,
like, why'd you do that? Like, you just me basically. And then they go in, and then then the trucker tracks him down and tries to kill him and kidnaps him, and all. It's just like
a suspenseful
thriller movies is what I'm really into. Not necessarily the slasher films and stuff like that. Even though I like those, but that's not my favorite. I like the thriller movies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's more realistic of like actual humans being the ones that are doing the killing and stuff. What about you, Cameron?
So yeah, I actually do like the paranormal movies more than
I feel like it just relates more as far as like, I mean, I definitely have experience in that. I know quite a few people in here have.
I do like the Conjuring series, like with Annabelle and all of that. The slasher films, those are more like novelties, they're especially the ones that were made in the 80s and everything. I mean, they're fun to watch, but I mean, they're definitely not scary.
I've never seen an 80s movie that has good acting.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's real cheesy,
Yeah.
Real cheesy.
That's why you watch them, though.
That's the one-liners.
It's cheesy.
But yeah, I really do like those. Like one I think is kind of underrated is Mama. Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh man, that one really freaked me out. It was it's about those 2 kids that get lost in the woods. They're like really young and they're raised by like this demon woman.
What the fuck?
And they're like they crawl on their all fours, but I mean they're like human children. But
I think I've may
have seen that.
I may have seen it. Yeah.
But anyway, they end up being found, and this family adopts them. But
nope.
Mama,
thrown back.
Yeah, Mama though, she's not ready to let go of her children, So and you don't get to see Mama until like a little bit later on. And dude, it was freaking. I mean, I saw it back in high school. I don't know how I would react to it today, but I recommend that one, Mama. It's called Mama.
I think I've seen it.
I feel like they remade it. I feel like I've seen that. I've seen that title.
Was this an old movie you're talking about?
It came out when I was in high school.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
then that
yeah,
could be the
I
one
think
I'm
we're talking
talking
about.
about.
Yeah.
Came out like early 2000, like 2010s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, also, me and Cheyenne went to a like a thrift store in Gun Barrel a couple weeks ago, and this guy that was working there, every customer that came in, he would ask them. He was like, "Hey, have you seen the new Winnie the Pooh horror movie?"
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And like he asked Cheyenne that, and she don't watch scary movies at all. She was like, "No, I don't do scary movies." And then he looked at me and goes, "Did you see it?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know there was one."
This thing speaks to you, man.
He was really into it. He was telling me all about it. So I didn't have to see it. He told me all about it. And it's called Blood and Honey.
Oh yeah.
This is
yeah.
a real movie.
Yeah, I've seen the images for it. It's like very scary, but it's more scary that this dude's so into it.
So basically, it's about Christopher Robin. You know, when he grows up, he leaves Pooh and all them in the woods, and then after a while, he goes back to find them. Well, he finds them, but they're pissed. So then they kill him, and then they just go on this freaking murder spree.
They eat Eeyore, apparently. And the thing is, they're supposed to actually be the real, like, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and all that.
is it animated or something?
No, not at all.
No.
And it is so obviously people in costumes. Their faces, like when they talk, their mouths don't move, their eyes don't blink. They're just a weird, like,
Teletubby type.
yeah, kind of.
And this man was like hyping
This
it up.
grown man was like hyping it up and everything, and like I that night I was like, man, what did he say it was? I looked it up, and I was like, that's what he was so stoked about. This is the movie that he thought was so great.
So it just popped in my head. There's two movies that are also thriller movies that I want to know if y'all have seen. Have y'all seen The Strangers?
I've heard of that one.
yeah.
I've never seen it.
Have y'all seen Vacancy?
No.
No.
And so Vacancy is about a couple who broke down on the road. They get trying to get a mechanic, and the mechanic tells them there's a hotel right here. They go to this motel in the middle of nowhere, and they're basically getting harassed by someone's constantly knocking on the door. No one's there.
Yeah.
Beating on the door.
Yeah.
Can't see them. And then there's an adjoining room, you know, like hotels have, how like the door can go into another room. That door starts getting banged on. And there's actually cameras in the vents and stuff. And the guy that owns the hotel is watching them. And then he has people that go and terrorize people, and they film it.
Oh.
And it's basically them like murdering people.
Oh shit.
But they're constantly. Why are you staring at Cameron? Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
But it's terrorizing and stuff like that. Versus like The Strangers is kind of the same way. Why are you staring at him?
I'm just looking at Cameron. I'm looking at everybody.
So y'all say y'all have heard of
I've
The
seen
Strangers.
strangers. Yeah.
yeah.
So
I've heard of Strangers.
so
Is that that's the one where they're wearing like potato sacks on their head or something? Right?
one guy is.
Yeah.
It's like a dad, a mother, and then their daughter. They just go around. They found a house in the middle of nowhere, and then
Yeah.
they basically knock on the door, bang on the door, terrorize them. You know, disable their car, cut the battery out, and shit like that. So I mean, it's just those kind of like thriller movies is what gets me. Like there's like a scene to where like the woman's in the kitchen making food, and then the hallway you see the dude with the potato sack on his head. Like he's in the house and then he leaves. It's just stuff like
You
that.
would like a movie that I've seen recently. It's a thriller movie. It's what are those people called? The ones that camp out in people's houses?
Squatters.
Squatters. Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. There's one on Netflix recently. It was all about squatters and stuff like that.
Where
They terrorize a family pretty much, but it turns out the family's all tied in on.
But-
this whole
Oh
thing.
wait.
But-
It was in New Jersey.
one of the
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
squatters actually the main guy, like the guy that owns the house, is a cop and a detective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen it. That's actually
Dude,
good.
shout out to that
well,
movie.
me and Jalen actually watched it.
That movie was the biggest disappointment ever. Like the build up to the end was perfect. Like I was like, man, this movie's really great. And then the end, I was like, man, this movie sucked.
Well, do you know who the kid was, right?
Wait, are we talking about two different movies?
It could be.
Well, yeah, me. I'm also Jalen's in the room too. That's why I'm pointing at her. But Jalen's in the room, and me
Man,
and her.
someone pan the camera to.
So wait a minute. Okay, so this couple that lived in New York City, they bought a house in the suburbs of New Jersey, right?
No,
Never, completely different movie. Never mind.
Nope, not at all. Jalen fell asleep during the movie, but
I'm holding it in.
no, but me and Jalen were watching the movie. She fell asleep afterwards, but like even like the next morning, she asked me if it was a good movie, and I was like up the like sitting up in bed watching it because it was a good movie. It kept your eyes.
What
on.
was the movie called?
I don't know.
I forgot what it was called too. I think it was called Monkey or something like that.
Shut up. No, it wasn't.
They're called frog something.
Frog something. I'm going to look it up.
Frogger.
Real quick, what is that trailer you showed me for that movie with the guy inside the box and they couldn't stop looking at it?
Man,
Oh, that little short movie?
Yeah.
Dude, that freaked me man.
Yeah. It's based on a game. There's a game like that.
Five Nights at Freddy's, I think.
No. I mean, something similar to that. but it's different because it's human.
That's Chuck E. Cheese.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah.
That's a creepypasta.
Dude, there was another little short I saw on YouTube where this old lady died in her house, and these kids were throwing stones at the house and like just making fun of her. And apparently, the spirit lived in that house.
For being dead.
Oh yeah, that's Monster House.
No. So these kids, they go home, right? And the camera follows the one kid home, and he's just, he's home alone. His parents are at work, whatever. And his friend lives across in the next apartment building, and he can see their window. So he's watching his friend go home, and all of a sudden, like this big woman just comes in the house, starts choking the shit out of that kid. So obviously, this kid's like, "Oh!" And then she looks up and points at him, and then she see her running across the street, and then like the next scene is her opening the door slowly, and then it ends with that kid like walking like a zombie or whatever.
Man, have y'all seen Disturbia?
Yeah, with Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
So you've seen it. That's a good
Yeah.
thriller movie, right?
Yeah, it wasn't
You would
bad.
say?
Yeah, it was
have
good.
y'all seen it?
No.
Man, y'all got to watch Disturbia with Shia LaBeouf. Man, it's a good movie.
Is this going into your topic, or did you? Or is
Well,
this
wait,
like
Dale
your
never
topic?
really got
No.
to talk about his favorite kind of scary movies.
Dale's
Yeah, was
Yeah. I like psychological thrillers.
psychological thrillers are pretty good too.
like mine.
Yeah, like that movie with
Never heard of that.
Cusack. His last name's Cusack.
No, seriously, that's sometimes what it's called. It's mine.
So this movie with John Cusack.
John Cusack. Yeah.
He's in a hotel and he's trying to solve a murder. But at the end of the movie, you discover that this is all going inside an actual murderer's head.
Huh?
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. I think it was called Room 314 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was like 318 or something like that.
Yeah. Shut the.
He don't know a damn.
You've been lying this whole
He don't know a
episode.
damn thing.
Man,
Damn it, Juan.
But all right, let me get
I'm
into
not good at remembering movie names.
let me get into mind unsolved mysteries and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Cue the transition.
Man, I can't wait for this one.
Well, no,
Yeah.
because I remember, I was mentioning to y'all at work, but y'all probably weren't listening and stuff. Because
What'd you say?
No, talking about them as they're fucking. But so Netflix has a thing called Unsolved Mysteries, right? And I was watching a few episodes, and a lot of them, man, it just makes you want to click the next episode because they're really
Right.
good. 3 of them caught my attention. And you are looking at each other's crotch. I saw your
What the fuck?
You looked at Cameron's crotch.
Let's pan into Cameron's crotch.
It doesn't show it.
Damn, stand up, Cameron.
But so one of them is you mentioned earlier about Bigfoot and stuff, right? One of them is that there's actually been a lot of sightings, but for some reason it's in the Indian territories.
What's funny about that?
I'm sorry. Have you heard that? Have you seen that Instagram clip where it's like, "Yo, what's Bigfoot out here doing?" It's like it's like this raunchy ass Snapchat video of like this guy in a gorilla suit just jumping around in the woods. I want to use that as an edit. When you're talking about Bigfoot, just this Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. But no, but so apparently it's like a lot of it's like in the Indian territories on the
When you say Indian territories, you're going to have to clarify. Do
Like
you mean
reservations.
Native Americans or Indians?
reservations. It's in reservations of the United States.
But don't look at me like that.
and-
It's perfectly good.
Indigenous lands.
Thank you.
So in reservations, there's been a lot of sightings of like creatures that look mannish, but they're very hairy.
Skinwalkers.
And basically, if you watch it, it's on Unsolved Mysteries on Netflix. There's an episode about it, but it's a lot of people that saying that they've seen it. People who said that they don't believe in it, and there's no way. Like there was 2 detectives out there that was like they were put on this like, hey, here's another call about this. It's just, y'all just do it. Like, people basically were like down.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me the people that smoke peyote every fucking day are seeing things?
So basically, they were getting a lot of these calls and stuff, like the police department and all this stuff, and they gave two detectives this role basically, and then they were like, "Hey, it's just a call. You go investigate it." See, and the detectives are actually the one that are talking on it. They're like, we got to sign this, but we didn't know exactly what we were getting into,
right?
And they were investigating stuff, and they're like, "Man, this." Like, eventually, they were like, "Okay, this kind of stuff sounds real."
Yeah.
They were seeing like real evidence of it. I can't remember the evidence of what they found, but that witnesses were stating that they saw someone run really fast. Run! What are y'all doing?
Out in here.
We're listening.
Hot in here.
And it's just that they were saying that they saw a creature that someone they saw a knob turn on their trailer home, and when she opened it, which I don't know why she would do it, she opened it and she saw big hairy
Sick.
creature she's never seen before. Big, hairy, thick creature she's never seen before.
Oh my god!
And then when she closed the door, it just ran off. And then that they've seen like sheet metal get torn before, which, I mean, obviously no man can actually sit there and tear sheet metal.
Yeah.
Tearing sheet metal, running off, big claws, big footprints, stuff like that. Eyes glowing in the dark, way in the distance and stuff. But I mean, that's just another like creepy.
Pasta.
Yeah, well, creepypasta. Yeah.
Hello? Okay. Sorry.
And another thing, let me ask you this: do y'all believe in UFOs?
I would believe in a UFO before I would believe in Bigfoot.
I started believing in the UFOs whenever the Pentagon's confirmed claims of.
Okay,
yeah, there are UFOs.
Well,
out there.
I believe that there's flying objects that you can't identify.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Why do you always take my punch like God?
But well, going back to Bigfoot, I also think like there's game cameras, there's ring doorbells,
You
there's
believe
stuff
in
like that.
Bigfoot, right?
No, I wouldn't say I believe in it because like I said, there's game cameras, there's ring doorbells, there's security cameras, there's a camera in everyone's pocket. All that, like how do we not have more evidence?
And why is it that every time there is sightings of Bigfoot, it looks like it was filmed with a potato?
Yeah, I know, or a toaster.
Yeah.
But like UFOs, there's an episode on. There's an episode on Unsolved Mysteries of UFO sightings, and basically it happened in the 80s over there by Lake Michigan.
Oh, again, when cameras were shitty. Okay, how convenient.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean that's usually the way it goes.
But what's weird is that the police department in the area kept getting phone calls like, "Hey, there's like 3 big bright things in the sky circling around."
This was back at the Indian reservation, right?
No, this is by Lake Michigan.
Okay, never mind.
And the police department kept getting all these calls, so they dispatched an officer and was like, "Hey, can you go and talk to this reporting person and see what they're talking about?" And even the cop, he was on the documentary as well, and he said that he had got ridiculed for years by his police department, thinking that he was crazy and stuff. But he answered to this reporting person's house, and they were like, "Look, it's right there." And he was like, as a cop, he was like, "Yeah, no, it was something that was in the air that I've never seen before. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a helicopter. This is the 80s too. Nothing I'd ever seen before, circling around, and it was really odd. It just stayed there, and then it just flew away."
Wait a minute, no, because this was the 80s. This was back when the war on drugs was starting. Everybody was on crack.
Stop it!
I do have a theory with that though,
Go ahead,
because my
what's your
dad
theory?
has a similar story.
Was he on crack?
Man, I wouldn't know.
Well, so my dad back in like the late 80s,
It's always the 80s, dude. Always.
he was going to Six Flags in Arlington, right? And him and his buddies, they kept seeing these weird like UFO things flying over Six Flags, right? So they kept thinking, "Oh my God, what are those things?" Like they've never seen anything like it, right? And all they could do was just kind of talk about it. There was like, there was no internet or anything. So come to find out later, before it was announced, because over there by Six Flags, there's actually an Air Force base.
Yeah.
Stealth bombers were being tested.
Nice.
And no one has ever seen one before that. And
Yeah.
so they were testing them. So
And I always feel like people don't understand, like that's what Area 51 is kind of like all about. It's about keeping some of the stuff that we make pretty secret to the whole world.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of the whole point. Because if we ever get into a World War III, I bet you anything there's going to be a lot of stuff we have never seen before ever being used.
But there's also another part of the story to where even the cop was like, hey, they wanted to see who had a radar system in the area. So they called a weather services person. It was like, hey, do y'all have radar? They're like, yeah. Well, we're getting reports of items in the air. Do you see it? And he goes and scans it. He's like, actually, yeah, I see three things in the air that's coming up on radar, and they're at a standstill. They're just staying still in the air.
Helicopters.
And then when the item went to circle around, he was like, wait, they just moved. And then he said he calculated it from where that radar scan, when it scanned it and it was standstill, and the next time it came, it was way over here. He calculated it and said from it to get to that point to this point, they had to go 73,000 miles per hour. They had to go.
What do you got to say about that?
That fast to see that object move.
Computer glitch. Clearly, the computer froze when they were in that point, and then it finally unfroze when they were all the way
They're
over
saying
there.
that life is a simulation.
With over hundreds of calls to the police department saying that they see this stuff in there. There's hundreds of witnesses of this.
It was
of
back
this
in the
happening.
80s. Like I said, everybody was doing crack because the war on drugs was just
Everyone
starting.
that was on crack happened to see the same thing in the air.
They were all on crack.
Shout out to everybody in the 80s.
But, so they also said that UFO sightings happen more around large bodies of water, which Lake Michigan is a huge lake.
Let me give you a possible scientific explanation, and this is just out of my ass, so it's not. Don't take it for fact. It could be light.
That's my type of guy, dude.
Thank you. It could just be light reflecting off the water going into the sky.
Say water?
Shut.
Say water.
Why don't you say it?
No, I want to hear your
I'm not
northern
saying
accent. We'll just clip it. Put on.
Repeat.
So, but Cameron, you agree with my possible?
I really do.
explanation.
Yeah, it's just
Thank
like that whole mirror
Water.
trick thing they were talking about the other day.
the mirror.
Now, how does UFOs go to the damn the mirror trick we were talking about? No, so y'all don't believe that there's life outside of Earth.
Oh no, I do. But I'm just saying, in this instance, those people are full of shit.
Oh man, I believe in
Hundreds of witnesses.
extracurricular activity,
Extracurricular.
extracurricular,
Curricular.
Oh, you mean like PE?
No, like
You mean art class?
After school polo club.
Yeah, I believe in that. I believe that is absolutely true. That happens.
that definitely happens. I've experienced it myself.
That's gonna be one of the YouTube shorts.
Yeah, but we believe of that stuff out there. But in this instance that you're showing us evidence about it, we don't believe that.
You know what? I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. I'm not gonna debunk this one. Wow, that sure was spooky, huh? Hope you liked it. Okay, sorry.